Changing your life sounds inspiring until you try to do it. Suddenly, the excitement fades and you're staring down a mountain of effort. Eat healthier, wake up earlier, work out consistently, read more, meditate. It all sounds good, but it also feels like too much. The truth is, most people fail not because they don't want to change. They fail because the steps feel overwhelming and the commitment seems too big to handle. Every change seems to demand a complete lifestyle overhaul and constant motivation. But what if I told you that changing your life doesn't require a complete overhaul? No grand resolutions, no waiting for Monday, just 2 minutes. That's right, there's a simple habit trick that takes less time than scrolling through Instagram, and it could be the key to lasting transformation. It's called the 2-minute rule, and I first learned it from the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, one of the most practical guides on building better habits. In this video, I'll show you how this small idea can reshape your routines, beat procrastination, and get you moving toward the life you want starting today. Let's get into it. Most people believe that big changes require big effort, but the truth is, real transformation begins with something much smaller: momentum. Think of a rocket. It uses the most fuel just to lift off the ground, but once it's in motion, staying in motion becomes easier. That's exactly what this principle is designed to do: help you launch. It's about making your habits so easy to begin that saying no feels silly, and once you start, momentum will take care of the rest. The rule is this: when you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. The key idea is to scale down your habit so much that starting feels effortless. Here are some examples. Read before bed each night becomes read 1 page. Do 30 minutes of yoga becomes take out my yoga mat. Study for class becomes open my notes. Run 3 miles becomes tie my running shoes. These are called gateway habits, simple actions that lead naturally into the bigger behavior you're aiming for. The first 2 minutes should be ridiculously easy, because the hard part isn't necessarily doing the thing, it's starting the thing. Once you're in motion, it's far more likely you keep going, just like Newton's first law of motion. An object in motion stays in motion. The same principle applies to your habits. This is how you build habits that last, by mastering the art of showing up. And showing up consistently is far more powerful than showing up perfectly. People often think it's silly to get excited about reading 1 page or meditating for just a minute. It can feel like a trick, because deep down, you know the real goal is to do more than just 2 minutes. And that might make it feel like you're trying to fool yourself. But the point isn't the page or the minute, it's the process. You're building the identity of someone who reads, someone who meditates, someone who takes action. And if it still feels forced, try this. Actually stop after 2 minutes. Seriously. Read, but stop at 2 minutes. Meditate, but stop at 2 minutes. This makes the rule feel honest and removes the pressure to do more. By the end of 2 minutes, if you want to stop, then stop. But chances are you actually want to keep going instead. Here's why this tiny rule packs such a powerful punch. First, it removes resistance. Think about how often you avoid doing something just because the starting point feels overwhelming. It might not be the gym session that scares you. It's the thought of changing clothes, packing your bag, and driving there. The 2 minutes rule lowers the barrier to entry. You don't have to run 5 miles. You just have to lace up your shoes. That small shift moves you from hesitation to action. It breaks the inertia and makes starting feel effortless. Second, it creates consistency. We often fall into the trap of thinking that bigger effort means better results. But long-term success comes from doing something small consistently, not from burning out with giant leaps. The 2 minutes rule gives you a way to show up every single day without draining your energy. It helps you focus on building a rhythm instead of chasing intensity. And once you have that rhythm, the momentum takes over. Third, it builds identity. This is the most powerful part. When you do even a small version of a habit, you're proving something to yourself. Read one page, and you're a reader. Do one push-up, and you're someone who works out. What does a reader do? Well, they read. What does someone who works out do? They go to the gym. These tiny actions stack up over time and change the way you see yourself. And once your identity shifts, maintaining the habit becomes second nature, because it's no longer something you're trying to do. It's just who you are. You have to standardize before you optimize. It's better to do less than you hoped than nothing at all. Over time, small actions you do in under 2 minutes turn into rituals. They act as a warm-up, a cue to signal your brain it's time to focus. Writers often follow creative rituals. Athletes warm up the same way before every workout. These routines lead to flow. And eventually, the first 2 minutes evolve into longer sessions. At some point, once you have established the habit and you're showing up each day, you can combine the 2 minutes rule with something called habit shaping to scale your habit toward your ultimate goal. Here's an example of habit shaping. Becoming someone who works out. Phase 1. Change into workout clothes. Phase 2. Step out the door or stretch at home. Phase 3. Drive to the gym, exercise for 5 minutes, and leave. Phase 4. Exercise for 15 minutes at least once per week. Phase 5. Exercise 3 times per week. Start by mastering just the first 2 minutes of the behavior in the first phase. Then move to the next phase and repeat. You're not rushing ahead. You're building a solid foundation. Eventually, you'll grow into the habit you originally envisioned while still keeping your focus where it matters. The first 2 minutes. The 2 minutes rule is not about performance. It's about permanence. You're becoming the kind of person who shows up, who starts, who keeps going. So here's your challenge. Pick one habit, break it down into something that takes 2 minutes or less. Do it today. If you feel like continuing after 2 minutes, go for it. If not, stop. There's no pressure. The point is simply to show up, because once you do, momentum begins to build. You don't need a massive plan to change your life. You just need 2 minutes. If this video inspired you, hit the like button, subscribe for more powerful ideas, and let me know in the comments, what's your 2 minutes habit going to be? Remember, big changes start with small steps, and 2 minutes is all it takes.